sometimes you just got to clear your head and the song comes to you. Rocket Sauce, take one. Rocket, rocket, all of my rocket sauce. All of my freaking rocket sauce. All of my rocket sauce. Hey, rocket, rocket, all of my rocket sauce.
Oh, bro.
All of my rocket.
That's the ice cream song.
I know, Pinewood, just kick it.
Well, hey out there, and happy Thursday to all you beautiful podcast listening fools. I lost my place. I'm sorry about that.
I was wondering if you were going to cue it in.
I hope you're prepared for the greatest soundtrack of your life, the greatest mixtape that you've ever been graced with, the greatest duo this side of the Mississippi. We are FWTG coming at you hot and live for episode 65.
Hot and live on 65. Throw that little NPR voice in there.
Tell you what, man, this intro is going to hell in a handbasket real fast. Stumbling over words. You got the.
You ain't even drank a beer yet.
I am your ever humble host, Pastor. Good grief already, man. What is going on? I am your ever humble host, Pastor Pinewood. Across from this stolen podcasting table, the other host that's rocking his post Patty's Day hangover T-shirt.
Beezy! I gotta stop you real quick.
Okay.
Did you say this side of the Mississippi?
Yeah, we're on this side of the Mississippi.
What does that have to do with anything, though?
I don't know. Maybe there's people listening on that side of the Mississippi.
They're doing the same exact thing.
Maybe they're better than we are, but on this side of the Mississippi, we're the tops, man.
We're the best on this side of the Mississippi. Fair enough. Okay, I'll allow it.
That's what I was going for. This side of the Mississippi. Now,
touche.
Interestingly enough, you could argue which side is which, right?
I mean, yeah.
I mean, it depends on where you're looking at.
You got one side of it.
If you're looking,
you got the other side of it.
If you're looking at it from Canada, you know, one side's left, one side's right. And if you're looking at it from the Gulf of Mexico, one side's right, one side's left. It's all cattywampus.
Flippity floppity. That's why in the nautical field,
right.
We prefer to use directions like north, south, east.
Oh, I thought you were going to go with port and starboard.
Oh, I don't know what that means.
Well, I got to learn you some knowledge today, sucker. Port is left side of the boat.
Okay.
And starboard is right side of the boat.
Okay.
Bows the front. And then stern's the back. Yes, the stern anus.
The boat anus.
The sternus. We'll call it the sternus. If any of you guys out there in the sailing world, God forbid you're listening to this podcast if you're in the sailing world, but if you are, from now on, just call it the sternus. And
sternus, stanus. I mean, you put the emphasis on whatever syllable you want.
Dude, stanus is hilarious. Can you imagine a bunch of hoity-toity yacht club people sitting around talking about the stanus?
You've got such a dirty stanus. You need to clean it.
And everybody stopped listening already, but that's okay. We are in almost in the doghouse. We're not in the doghouse.
Out of the doghouse.
Out of the doghouse. We're back at the farm.
The barn at the farm.
And I don't even know if you noticed this. We have no ducks.
We have no who?
We have no ducks.
You know what? I did notice that because when I got here, I put all my equipment up and was getting ready to record.
Right.
And then, as per usual, I go chase the ducks.
Yep, and they were
no damn ducks to chase.
Nowhere to be found. So
that was a sad panda.
We have we've nixed the ducks, and because we have a 6 fowl limit, we can only have 6 fowl.
Okay.
So we want chickens instead of ducks.
Fair enough.
So we're going to build this little coop back here by where the forage stuff's going to go.
Okay.
And it'll be all encompassed, and they won't be able to get out in the yard. So we're actually going to be able to have a yard.
So they won't be free range.
They will be free range in the spring and early summer.
The limit range.
Yep. So anyway, but that's what we're doing. So I just thought I'd let you know that no more ducks.
Oh, I'm glad you let me know now. After I look like an idiot walking around your whole backyard
trying to find the ducks.
Stupid ducks. It's like, I guess they got out. I know I left the side gate open, but I didn't see anything. I heard them.
You like that Quentin Tarantino meme where he's in the grocery store looking all sad? Like, where is everybody?
It's the same thing between Quentin Tarantino with
what'd I say?
Travolta.
Oh yeah. Where he moves. Pulp Fiction.
Pulp Fiction. Yeah.
Well, I tell you what, if you are just tuning in now, you owe yourself a favor. You need to go back one episode, and you need to check out episode 64 live at Eccentric Brewery. And man, we had a great time.
Yeah,
it was a lot of fun.
It was a blast.
Now, old Beezy, we harped on it a little bit at 64, but Beezy got naked and showed everybody his tail end, his derriere, if you will.
My stainus.
Your status. And so that was a good, exciting time. But then the day after we recorded the podcast, he kept all your clothes on, bro.
I did. I did. So no, we really did have fun. We brought in a new segment that we're going to try and do for anytime we have guests, and man, it really flowed well. It was the first one that we've actually got on YouTube with video.
That's right. And this is number 2. Hello out there.
2.
Got everything figured out. And you know what? I was going to wait till the end of the episode, but I'll just kind of add it in here. So a couple of quick announcements, and then we can kind of get on with the show.
Fair enough.
But the first one is we've got, probably within the next 2 months, we've got new equipment in the pipeline.
Yes.
And some of it's already here. We've got to figure out how to use it. Yes, you just need the nice cables and stands and new microphones and the monitors, but we even got stuff in the back that we've got to learn how to use.
Yeah.
So
we thought this was a learning curve.
Yes, we did.
That new stuff is a whole new ballgame.
It's going to be exciting. So multi-viewed video, which would be great. Switched while people are talking, we hope. We'll have some pretty cool new edit stuff on YouTube, so that'll be a little more interactive. You notice with the monitors that we have, we'll be able to throw stuff up there when we're talking about it. So lots of cool stuff coming. And if you want to help support the show to help us get even further, because all that's, we had to put it on our credit card. Yeah, I don't want to tell anybody, but
it's maxed out.
it's bad.
Well, I got $30,000 in credit card debt.
And because it's us, our interest rate is 28.5%.
Oh, you got a 28? Lucky.
Yeah. So if you'd like to support the show and all of the things that we're doing, you can go over to Patreon, patreon.com/FWTG podcast. You can support us there. There's 2 tiers that are worth a darn. $5 tier, the Hidden Brethren, and also the $20 tier, the Life Shippers. Really appreciate that. That actually gets you an extra podcast every month. And it has released yesterday.
Yeah.
As this episode 10. We've been doing this 10 months, bro, on Patreon. And over a year for the regular podcast.
Yeah, almost a year and a half.
Yeah, coming up on it. So go over to the Patreon. Also, if you'd like to have some T-shirts or something like that, go to the merch store. It's fwtgpodcast.com/store. I'm reading so fast, I'm getting my tongue all twisted here, but
I'm enjoying
this. Bad day, man.
I am thoroughly enjoying this.
I think there's something to you just got a certain amount of words you get every day that are clean.
Hit that quota.
Yeah, when you hit that quota, who knows what's going to happen.
Your brain's on autopilot.
It's on autopilot. Also, check out our couple of sponsors that we have. We're really happy to have these guys. Eccentric Brewery is our flagship sponsor this year. They have been great so far, and we look forward to heading down there, I think, 3 more times?
Yes.
And maybe, possibly, fingers crossed, doing some type of live show. We don't know what that's going to look like yet, but we're trying to iron out those details. And we want to make it entertaining for everybody.
Sure. Not
where you just sit and listen to 2 idiots talk. So
I mean, you could do that too.
You definitely could do that too. We wanted to have an interaction part. But anyway, we'll find out. So Eccentric Brewery, go check those guys out. All that stuff's in the description of the podcast, or if you're on YouTube, you can go check it out below the video. Cocoa Cocktails is our other sponsor. We're happy to have them around. And they do have new products coming, but we haven't seen it yet.
Yeah. So
still waiting.
When I talked with the owner, he said that they are right in the middle. They're kind of on the cusp of getting the new stuff launched out. And he said it should be coming out next month.
Okay. All right. Well, we're gonna hold them to that because I'm really anxious to try some of that stuff.
Me too.
And if you would go over to the podcast, to the website, FWTG Podcast. God bless America. What is going on? FWTGpodcast.com. And if you would, leave us a voicemail and a review. Our reviews have, what are you giggling about?
I'm just waiting for you to screw another one up.
Well, it's bad as I got it all typed out too. Like, it's not like I'm trying to do it off the cuff here. I'm just an idiot.
Just can't read well. It hurts.
So as you guys all know, we record these a little early. Well, today's Sunday, and I preached today.
Oh, you used all your words.
I used all my words this morning, so now it's just whatever's left in the pipe. You
that
gotta
will
send it
happen.
out. So we would appreciate you guys leaving us a voicemail and a review. Let us know what you think about the show and interact with any of the questions. If you got answers to any of the questions, you can send it over to us and we will read it and or play it on the next podcast.
Yeah. Or you could email us.
You can email us.
Questions at gmail.com.
And again, all that information is down in the description below. Go check us out. All right, you ready to, we can't quite get a beer going yet because we're still on the wagon. Want to do some on the wagon articles?
Yeah, let's do it.
One of 2021's biggest bucks was poached in a church parking lot.
Well, just so happens I know where you can get some forgiveness for doing that.
That's a good point.
Damn sure won't be from that warden.
No, this gentleman. Well, listen to this number. This is bananas to me.
Okay.
In 2021 alone, there was 42,143 white-tailed bucks harvested in West Virginia alone.
Wow.
42,000 deer.
Dang,
That was legal deer.
Wow.
One buck, which was arguably the largest buck that was killed that year, was poached.
Oh, no.
And it happened in a church parking lot. Jacob Miller responded to the tip, checked in on Ronnie Stumbo II.
Stumbo.
Stumbo told Miller he'd shot the deer with a rifle in the neighboring Lincoln County and had left the gut pile there, and that's how they were going to prove it. So they actually took this guy to where he said he shot it to get the gut pile to prove that's where he shot it. Well, of course, there's no gut pile. So eventually, this is the best part, he made him walk in the woods in the dark looking for it for like 2 hours.
Oh, so they are past livid.
And then he admits, no, I shot it in my home county, which is an archery-only county.
Oh, no.
And so here's the crux of the story. The deer was shot in the church parking lot. Stumbo used the church for some type of cover to get closer to the deer. He stood behind the building and shot the deer out of the parking lot, and the deer fell down into the creek.
Oh, my goodness.
And what's interesting, this was a huge deer, and if you know deer scores, it scored a 182, which is a monster
Holy
buck.
crap.
The biggest deer I've got is pretty big, and it was only like 164. So it's a monster deer, and the fine was around $10,000.
Oh, no.
On top of a whole bunch of other stuff. and the judge said that the resulting price was higher because it was a larger, more impressive deer.
Yeah.
So I thought that was really funny. Like,
dude, people hunt their entire life for a trophy buck. The one that you have mounted is what, 162 is what you said?
something like that. 163.
Somewhere in there.
Yep.
And that's a big deer.
I'll probably never top it.
Yeah.
Probably never top it.
And this is 25 points bigger.
Yeah. Dude,
that is a
his
monster.
brow tines look like corn dogs. Like they're super thick. They're huge. It's a monster deer. So it's amazing that happened. And then $10,000 fine. They don't get to hunt for a certain period of time and a whole bunch of other stuff. So be smart. If you're just don't poach deer.
Yeah, don't
poach.
Don't poach it. What's funny
idea.
that you bring this up is I just according to you, there was some shows that we had to watch on the Discovery Plus.
Oh yeah.
So I got Discovery Plus. I've not watched any of the shows you told me to watch.
Oh, that's a drag.
Because they had all of Lone Star Law, Northwoods Law.
You're telling me about that stuff. It sounds. It doesn't sound.
It's actually
entertaining
pretty
at all.
It just follows the game wardens.
Okay.
In Texas, and Texas is North Lone Star Law, and then the Northwoods Law is up in Maine. And there's like 2 or 3 other ones, and I watched it. That's all I've done is just watch all
watch
those,
those.
and I completed it yesterday. So
How many are there?
so Northwoods had like 10 seasons.
Holy cow! You watched all of them between then and now?
Yeah.
That's only been like a month.
Well, Lone Star and Northwoods, I'll had to watch like the last 2 or 3 seasons because I'd watched it when I had cable. And then the other 3 I'd never even heard of, so I had to watch them, and they were only 1 season apiece.
Now, tell me this. How have you gotten the Discovery Plus network, which has the Magnolia network, and you haven't had to set through Chris and Joanna Gaines for the past however many weeks it's been.
Because whenever that even gets brought up, I go, well, I'm going to just go play some video games. then the producer's just like, well, we'll just sit here and we'll watch what you want to watch.
Wow.
Well, we can find something together.
So what you're saying is I'm going to have to take up video games so I don't have to watch Chris and Joanna Gaines anymore.
That's correct.
Gotcha. So I can replace gains with games.
Man,
I got it.
shirt idea. That's a new shirt. Replace the gains with the games.
Well, bro, I haven't had a beer since Patty's Day. How about we do a little libations?
Let's jump on it.
Still gets me, man. That's a good one. We did good on that.
I love that one. It's my favorite.
So what are we drinking today, my friend?
So, sticking with our theme for the month of March, we're going to do Irishish.
Irishish.
Everything that we could find that either just screams Irish or is legitimately Irish.
Okay, fair enough.
Today we are drinking a legitimately Irish beer.
Very good.
This is Smithwick's and Sons
Okay.
Brewery out of Dublin.
Oh, okay.
Originally from Kilkenny, but then it
Interesting.
closed,
Okay.
and then Guinness bought it. So it's now a Guinness product.
So it was Canadian first in Kilkenny. Or you mean Kilkenny, Ireland?
Kilkenny, Ireland.
Okay, well, there's a Kilkenny.
I'm talking about the
Canada,
only one.
too.
I'm talking about the only one that counts.
Oh, wait, I was thinking Letterkenny.
That's Letterkenny, you dingus.
Kill, letter. What's the difference? It's both kitty.
I would expect this with your fat tongue. So,
Just today, man. Just today. What's the deal?
so today what we're drinking is Smithwick's Irish-made red ale. As I said, Kilkenny branch shut down.
Okay.
And it is now a tourist attraction. And since it's owned by Guinness, I can't find squat for information on this thing.
Oh, that's a drag.
Their website is actually down. You can't even get to Smithwick's website.
Really?
Yeah. So I was able to pull a little bit of information from Diageo Bar Academy.
What the heck?
I don't know.
Okay.
It was the first option whenever I Google searched it.
Okay.
So some interesting facts is a clear beer with a rich ruby color and a creamy head. The aroma is clean and delicate with individual notes, and from the top fermentation by the Smithwick's yeast comes aromatic esters, creating a fruity aroma. The aroma hops added late in the boil contribute clean, fresh floral notes.
Okay.
So it doesn't show anything for the IBUs, but it is 4.5% ABV.
Yeah.
It's a low one.
It's pretty low.
It's a low one.
Okay. Well,
And it's an ale.
all right. So expectations are low.
I've got a feeling that this is going to be very florally.
Okay. All right.
Very
That part
potpourri.
that doesn't bother me, obviously,
know,
with
it
the
doesn't.
IPA stuff. But it sounds light, and it sounds like it doesn't have any flavor. But I'll suspend my skepticism,
Okay.
and we'll see what happens.
Alrighty.
You about ready to what?
You got something? Because these aren't twisters.
Okay, well, let's have at it.
All right, let me get it.
Oh, you sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. All right. Well, let's clink it and drink it.
Ooh, got a little foam coming out of the top there.
Nothing impressive on the nose. Interesting.
Okay, it's not
Not what I was expecting.
it's not as bad as I was expecting.
Maybe that's what I should have clarified. It's not as bad as I was expecting it to be.
It's definitely not a wow me beer for sure.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's almost it almost has like on the back end a little bit of a honey flavor to it.
It does have a little bit of sweet.
A little
to
bit
it.
of sweetness on the backside.
Yep.
I almost thought, without without reading that it was a red ale,
Yeah.
my first impression was like, oh, well, this is a decent brown ale.
That's kind of, I'm with you there.
It
I'm with
almost tasted a little like toasty.
you. Okay.
And then you got the sweet on the back. But, I mean, it's a red ale, so very, very interesting.
And it's drinkable.
Sure.
I mean, it's definitely not... it's not one of those that gives you the bitter beer face, from those old commercials. It's not one of those.
Which is funny about those commercials because all the commercials that made that one, I think it was Budweiser.
Bud
Light, that gives me the bitter beer face.
Absolutely. Okay, so I don't hate it, and second sip was better than the first one, so that's always a good sign. We're having these pretty cold. We got them out of the freezer right before they froze, and so we're pretty chilled. Man, I tell you, I think in that fallish kind of feel.
Yeah.
Got a little bit of flavor there to it, and maybe with something sweet, paired with something sweet, be pretty good. I'm actually smoking a Foundation cigar, the Three Wise Men, or the Wise Men, I can't remember exactly, but it's pretty good with the beer, man.
Okay.
So I don't hate it. Now, if I had to choose this between this and the Killian's, I think I'd go with the Killian's because it was a lot better than I remember it being.
Right. Yeah, the Killian's was pretty solid.
And that was what, 2 episodes ago? Y'all can go back and listen to that
63.
one. 63. So I don't hate it at all. I'd definitely buy it again. What's the price point?
It was standard.
Okay.
$9-10 for a 6-pack.
I gotta say, if I had to choose, they're gonna have to take my Texas card away. But if I had to choose just a regular Shiner or this, I might choose this. It's got a little more depth of flavor and it's got a little more layers to it, like an onion.
Like an onion. Onion's got layers. What about a parfait?
A parfait. Anybody talking about the damn parfait? By the way, pastors can cuss if it's a movie quote. That is acceptable, I hear.
Yeah, word on the street.
By the way, that is not pastoral advice.
So, what do you feel like for a rating on this?
I'm gonna go 69.
69.
Yeah, you know what? No, I'm gonna go 70. I'm gonna give it a C.
Give it the passer.
I really am. I think. Now I know I put Shiner higher than that, or I think I did when we tried it, but
I don't think we've done the OG Shiner.
May not have. I really think I'd take this over the original Shiner. I think there's more to it. The 4.5 bothers me.
Yeah.
If this was 6.2,
oh yeah,
I think it would be
just spot on.
Yep,
spot on for sure.
But you got Irish folks drinking it. You want them,
to remember.
Yeah. I don't know. So yeah, I don't hate it at all. It's not my favorite for sure, but it's growing on me. I dig it.
Yeah, I'm right there with you.
Okay.
I feel like this would be splendid with just slightly higher ABV. And I like the fact that in the description that we read, it says a lot of floral.
Right.
I don't really get that, which is a positive for me and also a negative because they say it's there, but I don't get any of it.
That's fair.
So
I do get some at the front. I really do. And I don't know if it's they call it a ruby red, but there's no grapefruit. Grapefruit.
There you go.
But there's something at the very front.
Okay.
And I wouldn't call it florally, but there is a little bit of flavor there. Agreed. And then it finishes real sweet and nice.
Yeah, I really like the finish, and I would say with you. If it's a Shiner or this, I would lean towards this.
Yep. Now, another Shiner that we're kind of sipping on today because we finally found it is the
strawberry blonde.
And man, that's pretty hard to beat.
Good.
It's a good beer. Okay, so sorry. Back to Smithwick's. What you got?
I'm gonna go with 73.
You want to up it just a little bit?
I'm just a smidge higher than you.
Yep. It is tasty.
I mean, it's a good beer, dude.
Sure is. All right, man. Well, let's keep sipping on it. You want to do a little answers?
Let's do it.
All right.
Let me ask you something.
Now, I got question one, and it's a doozy now.
Uh-oh.
This is from Shaheem.
Okay.
No quantifying articles about it. Just Shaheem.
Just Shaheem.
Yep. And
is that like Cher?
I don't know. I'm not.
Madonna?
I would assume it's a man, Shaheem, but I'm not 100%.
I'm just gonna say, with all the Shaheems I've known,
Yeah, that's fair.
they've all been guys.
All been guys. How many Shaheems have you known?
None, but they were all guys.
The Shaheems I've seen in movies, all guys.
Yes.
Shaheem asks,
Okay.
I'm a 2-month-old fetus. Is it too late for me to start playing piano?
I mean, if you're typing the question, you've got to be pretty good.
I mean, look, if you're a 2-month-old fetus and using Quora, that's impressive, bro.
You're good.
That's,
You're good.
you're-
I mean, you're never too young to start, I reckon. If you can
gotta
type this question to Quora,
You gotta be a genius, man.
move over Amadeus.
What if he's channeling his mom?
Oh.
No, not channeling. What would you call that? Automatic writing? Isn't that what that's called? Where the person writing takes on the spirit of somebody else and they're writing for that other person? Is that what I think it's called? Automatic writing.
No, it's hang on. Planchette writing?
No. Anyway,
Yes. Anywho.
whatever it is,
Anywho.
we will look it up before the end of the episode. But
Maybe.
I think that's what he's doing. So he's the fetus. He's growing, right?
Okay.
And he's channeling or
He's
whatever.
commandeered the body.
He's commandeered the body, taking over.
So,
And-
he's basically like Krang from Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and that is his vessel. And he's like, "Say, let me ask you something. I'm curious. This old lady's gonna make me get piano. When's too early to start me on this crap?"
What year do you think the cutoff is for people who know what the heck Crane is from Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles? Like anybody below the age of 22 has no
Probably.
idea. Maybe 25. I don't know. Oh my gosh! Did you ever have that toy, the Crane toy, where he's in the little whatever
Yep.
it is?
The mech suit.
Yep. Now I tell you, you got a children's,
I do.
and you've got to be thinking about some of this stuff.
I
And
do.
I was forced to take piano lessons for like 3 months, and then I threw such a fit about it. They didn't make me take piano anymore. Now piano's a worthwhile endeavor, and I think most adults would enjoy knowing how to do it.
Sure.
So, are you going to force your child to sit down and learn the piano or another musical instrument?
Force piano, no. She's already got a little piano that she plays with, so I think she's gonna just naturally be gravitating towards musical instruments just because of my background.
She seemed musical.
Yeah,
kinda
very
Okay.
musical. She's already singing and tries. I mean, she does a pretty solid job for being 2 years old at keeping on key.
Interesting.
So
All right. That's good to know.
may have a little savant on her hands,
Oh, okay.
or just a drunk toddler. Who knows? Just a lucky drunk.
Don't say stuff like that out loud, bro. I almost said Secret Service. The
Secret Service.
the Secret Service is gonna come check you out. Social Service is gonna be at your house. So I don't know. I'm kind of with you. I don't think anybody should be forced, but some pretty strong encouragement towards that I think would be beneficial.
Look, we're both musicians.
Yep.
I mean, musicians.
Yeah. I would quantify
We
both
went
of
to
us.
school for music.
That's fair enough.
So
We both play musical instruments. We're
Yes.
musicians.
Yeah.
And I, even going through the whole school thing, I had to take 6 semesters of piano, and I cannot play piano for nothing.
yeah.
I would have liked to learn young
Sure.
and had that dexterity and been able to play later in life. I definitely would have liked that.
Agreed.
I wouldn't have liked it at the time.
No, you're never gonna like it at the time.
So I don't know where the balance is there.
I loved playing trumpet,
Yeah.
but not when I was told, "Hey, you need to play trumpet." I was like, I
Yeah.
don't want to play the trumpet.
That's
though."
right. Don't tell me what to do.
You can't tell me what to do, sucker.
It's funny. Our parents get smarter all the time.
Sure.
All the time. And I guess whenever you have a child, they get even smarter because then you realize all the
Yep.
stupid stuff.
Through
that-
osmosis.
Yeah, through osmosis. maybe they're channeling you like Shaheem is his mom to write these questions as a 2-month-old fetus. What year do you think would be apropos to get somebody started on? Let's just keep it with the piano.
So, my Nana, she has taught piano for years and years, and she's got to be about 1,000.
This is your dad's mom?
No, it's my stepmom's mom.
Okay.
So she's been teaching piano for probably 50, 60 years.
Wow. Long time.
And
Still doing it right now?
still does. Yeah, she
Dang.
still teaches piano.
Okay.
And she said that she will not take a student unless they're at minimum 4 years old.
Okay. So 4.
4 is kind of and that's just for her.
Right.
Now, I think for the more musically inclined, if it's part of a child's life, they're going to, like mine, she's going to want to gravitate towards instruments.
Right.
Like we've got all sorts of different, we got a floor piano she can step on. She's got an actual little cat piano that she plays.
Interesting.
And recorders.
Right. God forbid the recorder.
Yeah, no, that was a mistake on my part. But
lesson learned.
Yeah, but she's going to be one of those that actually wants to, I think, until we set her down. We're like, hey, have some piano lessons.
Yep. It's crazy to think about some of the savants or the kids who are immensely talented. I mean, it seems like almost right out of the womb, like 2 years old, 3 years old. They said, instead of you got a bottle and you got a trumpet. Do a little jazz ditty, take a swig of the bottle. A little jazz ditty.
Yeah. I remember when I was knee high to a grasshopper.
Shaheem, you got some work to do to catch up to old Beezy.
Yeah. Well, not everybody can be as good as me.
I would say you got big shoes to fill, but you got tiny feet. So. All right. Well, I think we answered his question. Not too early and not too late, man. Just get started.
You definitely, if you go into the musical field, you're going to want to know quite a bit before you get into it.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, that's the other great thing about just any musical instrument is it really, I'm sure there's studies out there about how it makes you smarter.
Yeah, there are a few.
I mean, that's just the layman terms.
Right.
I'm sure there's some scientific term for it, but
I don't know.
It makes you comprehend things easier.
Right.
And just knowing music is easy. I mean, it's not that difficult. You might as well start teaching them the scales when you're teaching them the alphabet.
Right.
I mean, it's the same letters, just quite a few less.
Yeah, quite a few less. When I was growing up, we actually had hymnals in church.
Yeah.
And you could read the music. And I, early on in my music career, when I was learning to read music, I thought it was really cool. Here I'm an elementary kid, and I can read the notes, and but I was never good at math. So it's interesting. There's a correlation there. People say if you're good at math, you could be good at music, and vice versa.
Nope,
not for me.
Nor I, sir. Nor I.
And I tell you, if Shaheem is lucky enough to have one of those perfect pitch things going on,
oh yeah, that's awesome.
Man, you got to step up.
Yeah, definitely got to roll with it.
For sure.
Definitely got to roll with it. But I'm going to touch on that point that you just had about the growing up in church and the hymnals. We did too, and I was doing, there's a hymnal floating around somewheres that's got big battle scenes, little stick figure battle scenes that I would create on all the bars.
Right in the hymnals. Dude, that's hilarious.
If you find that, I will pay mint for that.
That's pretty funny, man. Some poor lady at a church somewhere is like, this son of a gun, how dare you? Little bratty kid right on the
I can't even read the notes, Randy. It's all right, Susan. You weren't singing on key anyways.
It's not doing you any good other than the words, my friend.
All you're doing is seeing the words. That's about it.
All right, man. Question number 2.
Question 2. Joan Broadley asks, and I will preface this, and I'm going to assume that she's from across the pond, maybe in like the Londonish area.
Okay.
I just turned 22. My dad completely stopped buying my things. He won't even buy me milk for £1. The adult age is 25 here. How do I get him to provide for me?
Wow.
So
I have lots of words and very few words.
Okay.
Like I don't know how. First of all, 25
is the adult age. I don't know that that's a real thing. I'm pretty
25.
sure. I'm pretty sure if anything, the adult age gets lower in other countries. It's definitely not higher.
When you got to go out and work so you can eat, it's definitely lower. It's definitely lower.
China is like 5.5.
7-year-old workers in the mine.
They got them small hands. They can put them electronics together easier.
Right. I would say, Miss Broadley, that you are spoiled rotten, and your dad finally did a good thing.
Yeah,
and it's probably something he should have done about 5 years ago.
Yeah, for sure, for sure.
And also, why'd she bring up milk?
I'm curious as to, I mean, I know the exchange rate in America
Right.
isn't high. I mean, the pound
Pound's what?
is like $1.75,
something like that.
$1.80
Yeah.
for the U.S. dollar.
Who knows what it is now, but somewhere
But
around there.
if it's a pound of milk, a pound's worth of milk, I mean,
Right.
what is that? Like you go up to a vending machine? One
Yeah,
of the
probably.
milk vending machines? That's the only thing I could think.
Yeah, like a little bottle. And what 22-year-old girl is drinking a little bottle of milk that her daddy bought her? I mean, come on.
bought me this.
I will say, if you're that much of a baby, you should be drinking milk. So I guess it makes sense.
Yeah, that's for sure. That is for sure.
Now, if it's England and it's a girl, she's probably drinking strawberry milk because that's vegan milk because it comes from
no, it's almond. You know, they got to milk them almonds.
milk those little almond teats.
I mean,
man.
I don't. Anytime I think of England or London, I always just picture the Cockney accent.
Yes, for sure.
Oh, Daddy, no more than that milk. It's only £1. Could you be so corn, sir?
We're such racists.
I mean, is that racist?
No, I think it's more of like generalization.
Generalization?
Yeah, I think that's right.
We're generalists.
I'll take it. I'll accept it. So, look, when would you consider yourself an adult? Like growing up, when did you consider yourself like on your own? I'm an adult. Blah blah blah.
I would like to say 16, but my parents would disagree. So it would likely
Probably.
be 18 when I was physically out.
Okay, so
On my own.
when was the first time you were out on your own and you paid your own bills?
College, 18.
Okay, all right. So I had a little bit of scholarship money.
Yep.
And
I
then-
had full college scholarship
For a while.
for a bit. Had that
Me
for a
too,
semester.
funny enough. But as far as like paying rent, I think it was that following semester, like 04. So yeah, 19. I think that was the first time I was actually paying rent, paying for food, and not having mom and dad support me.
Oh, yeah.
So what do you think 100 years ago, the age of an adult out of the house,
14, 15.
14, 15 probably?
Yeah.
You know,
Had to have been.
You're out working, you're out doing something.
Well, that's why, I mean, if you go back in the annals of history,
It's the stainus. The stainus.
of history, the stainus eye of history, they have I mean, people, like, especially men, and I say men, boys,
Right.
they didn't finish school.
Yeah.
They
fair.
they legit did not finish school
Yep.
because
They went to work.
we got fields to plow.
Yep.
We've got bills need to be paid. We got mouths to feed.
It's true.
And you're one of those mouths, so get out there and contribute.
Yeah, I agree 100%. So I love the fact that we live in a society where we can take care of our children and take care of them well, where they're not having to work in a field at 12 years old. I do like that, but I also don't like the fact that 25 now is the adult.
Considered, yeah.
And
yeah.
what's the insurance cap in America? 26? So you can stay on your parents' insurance until you're 26, I think?
I think it's 25.
Okay, well, regardless, that's
Maybe
too
that's
long.
where he comes up with the 25, or she comes up with 25.
Maybe. I don't know. It seems like we continue to go that way.
Correct.
But we're getting weaker as a species. I don't think we're getting stronger.
Well, this is a topic for another discussion, but of course, there's too many sensitive Nancys out there.
Yeah. Well, it sounds like Miss Broadley is one. Now, what was her actual question? How do I convince him? Or
How do I get my daddy to provide for me?
I tell you what, get both your legs amputated and become disabled, and I bet you he'll step up and take care of you. if you're an invalid,
So it comes down to
they'll probably
amputation.
Yeah. I mean, look, if you got a daughter that's invalid, then she can't do anything. You probably go ahead and step up and take care of her. at that
That's
point.
fair. That's fair.
Barring losing both your legs, girl, you got to get out and make it on your own.
I mean, time to ship up or ship out.
I know it's England, but there's still opportunities over there in
And
England.
they got ships over there too. You go out there and clean some stainuses.
Do something. All right. Well, Get to work. Get to work, and you can afford your 1 pound milk. So you'll be fine.
It's 1 pound. Look how much you get.
If you make 10 pounds an hour, you can buy a whole bunch of milk after just 1 day of work.
Exactly.
And I take it you're still living at home. So
I would assume so.
Just think about what your dad's already paying, and then don't take for granted or
no, that's
yeah,
right.
that's right. Don't take for granted all the other stuff that he has been paying for. Go out and get you a little part-time job and I don't know, do something.
Contribute.
Contribute. Be a functional member of society.
Functional society.
All right, man. Good questions.
Yes, sir.
Do a little Cinemize?
Let's do it.
Cinemize with these guys. I love that. That's probably my favorite one other than Libations. And it's one of the few we haven't been flagged on yet. So
I know.
Apparently that guy's cool with us using his stuff.
Right on. I'll take it.
So we're struggling a little bit about what to do Cinemize because we've done a lot already. And so, where do you put it? What do you talk about? Blah, blah, blah. So we kind of got it down to historic movies.
Yes.
Historiological events.
I'm gonna call nope. I'm gonna call wrong Pinewood.
What are you calling no pond?
I'm pretty sure histological is not a word. I think you're looking for historical.
Historical. Okay, historical makes more sense.
Historicological.
Now, historicological. It's historiological.
Historiological.
There's an R in there. But here's the deal. If you take away the R, it's histological.
Okay.
And that's an actual word that means the study of tissue and cells under a microscope.
Yeah. That one letter completely changes it.
So we're doing movies about studying tissues and cells under a microscope. That's what we're doing today.
Outbreak. I'm done.
Oh, man. No. History movies. So movies based on a historic event. And we've got several each. And so I'm going to let you want to just kind of seesaw it back and forth.
Yeah.
All right. What's your first one?
When you first presented this topic, the very first one that popped into my head was Amistad.
That's a great movie.
Yes.
Great movie. It's one of those movies that, how do I put this without getting a bunch of hate mail? I don't enjoy social justice warrior movies where it's just so over the top and, a white man's evil and blah, blah, blah. But that one in particular, I think does a great job of kind of melding the historical the historic facts as well as the difficulty that was faced by the white men at the time as well as the slaves.
Yeah.
And that constant issue that was going on at the time. I thought it was a great movie.
Yeah, that was a phenomenal movie.
Acting was fantastic.
Yes.
Premise was great. Very, very good.
Yep.
My number one is JFK, or the assassination of JFK. So it came out in the 80s or early 90s.
Yeah.
Kevin Costner,
Yeah.
about a 3-hour endeavor.
Huh?
And then he made, so that's Oliver Stone that directed that. And then he has another documentary that just came out last year that heightens or expands on that original information.
Interesting.
So he took all that
After
information.
they released some more of that information.
It's interesting because they were supposed to release it.
That's right.
And
they put the kibosh
squashed
on
it. Yeah. Biden was like,
oh,
nope.
no. Whoa, you mean that's real? Hang on. No, they can't know that.
They kicked that can down the road to 2029. So we'll know then. And then they'll probably kick it down the road further. But yeah, he's got a great addition to that. So those two movies for sure.
Okay, nice. That's a good one. So my second one, we talked about music. Amadeus was probably the first one that I saw that was like just legit geared towards music.
Right.
It's about Amadeus Mozart.
Yeah.
And that was a great movie.
It's a brilliant film.
Now, granted, all of these movies that are going to be on this list, I'm pretty sure mine is and yours as well, that Hollywood, does what Hollywood does.
Right.
And then they take that little artistic creativeness
Right.
and run with it. But for the most part, it is still based on
Correct.
factual events.
And I think Mozart was such a funky character in history. And
Yeah, he was an odd duck.
he really
man.
was. And I think that really came through in the film.
Yes.
He ended up broke. He did a lot of stupid stuff. But he was a rock star.
Yeah.
And he goofy, I thought it's just a great movie.
Yep.
Great movie. If you haven't seen that, definitely go check that out. It's not boring at all.
No,
Even if
it'll-
you're not a musician, it's not boring at all.
It'll keep you entertained.
Now, my number 2 for Beezy would be boring, for sure.
I assume most of the movies you're gonna have watched are boring.
I think this is going to be the worst one.
Okay.
Dr. Zhivago.
Yeah, boring. Wait, the old one or the remake?
I didn't even know there was a remake. Is there?
Oh no, that was Dr. Moreau.
Okay, no. The original Dr. Zhivago, Julie Christie, fantastic film. Long, slow, and horrible because it's all about Soviet Union.
Nope.
So if you're pro-communism, probably not a great film to watch. It's definitely a communist attack ad for sure. But a great movie, great film, and wonderful book if you're into that sort of thing.
Fair enough.
All right.
Enough. I definitely won't read the book.
Sure.
My next one is what is this number 3?
Right.
It is a beautiful movie, and it's been remade like 3 or 4 times. And this the most recent remake was probably one of my favorite ones, following the Zodiac Killer, and it was just simply titled Zodiac.
Yep.
And it had Robert Downey Jr.
Yep.
and Jake Gyllenhaal.
Yep. A really good movie.
Yes. Yeah. If you dig serial killers or true crime or
Right.
anything like that, and you haven't seen it, you definitely need to go check that one out.
And they do a pretty good job of the brutality of the murders too.
Yeah.
And it's not over the top where it's like Saw or something like that.
Sure.
But it's definitely like, ugh.
Yeah.
gosh.
Oh my goodness.
Ugh. So yeah. And they never caught that guy.
Nope.
So still out there. I hear that's Ted Cruz's dad. That's what I heard. He was the Zodiac Killer.
Oh jeez.
All right. My number 3, Glory.
I knew that was going to be on there.
Yeah.
I knew that was going to be on
The
there.
cast alone.
Dude, at the time of filming that,
I mean,
they were just like, who's big right now?
Yeah.
Let's get them.
so you got Broderick and the guy from the Princess Bride.
Yep.
Carrie
Elwes.
Yep. You got Morgan Freeman,
Yep.
Denzel Washington. You got the guy from Brooklyn
Okay.
Nine-Nine. It's fantastic.
Yeah.
It's just super solid. And the story of the 51st or 54th is revolutionary. It's a great story, great movie. If you haven't seen that, you need to stop listening to this and go watch it because it's
Well, just finish listening to
okay.
it first.
Finish this episode and then go watch it.
And then go watch.
It's totally worth it.
Okay, good one. And like I said, I knew that was going to be on your list. And my number 4, and I probably shouldn't like it as much as I do, but I listened to the soundtrack, and when I would go to sleep, I would listen to John Williams' greatest hits, and this was on there.
Okay.
And it's Schindler's List.
Yeah.
And I was growing up, I was super fascinated with World War II.
Okay.
And the Nazis, but not for
Of course.
not for the Supreme Russia. Nothing to do with that, but just
That's funny.
just the intricacies and the crazy shit that they would do.
That's fair.
And I don't know if it was just the music. The music is so compelling in the movie,
It is.
and the movie in general is just a phenomenal flick.
Yep. And that's early Neeson.
Yeah.
And-
Neeson's?
Neeson's.
I've got the Neeson's in it.
I'm surprised it made your list because of how it's the Beezy list. Schindler's List is on the
This is the
Beezy's
Beezy
list.
list.
It's so emotional. I'm kind of surprised it's in your wheelhouse.
God, well, me too.
Hmm.
You know, I got to keep everybody on their toes.
All right, very good. All right, my number 4, Malcolm X.
Oh.
Yeah, I really dig that.
I've never actually watched it.
It's good. It's really good. And
I've watched American History X.
Ugh.
That's kind of the opposite of Malcolm X.
It really is the opposite of Malcolm X, yeah. And that is also a great film, a great film. But
it is.
so that original Malcolm X really, really good. I like it better than any of the documentaries or movies done on Martin Luther King Jr. I think this movie was better. It was well done.
Interesting.
Yep.
Well, to round out my list, I do have 2 honorable mentions.
I have one, so we're right there together.
Okay.
All right.
So my number 5 on the list.
Okay.
Men of Honor.
Ooh, that's a great.
Man,
great
Cuba
film.
Gooding Jr.
Yep.
And had De Niro.
Yep. Those 2 alone worth
And
it.
it just anything De Niro's in is probably going to be solid.
Yeah, agreed.
And then Cuba, even Cuba. I mean, I don't know that he's really made a bad movie.
Love Boat was pretty rough.
I mean,
Pretty-
I still watched it.
I watched it too. I tell you, when I was watching it for the first time, I thought, why did he agree to do this film?
He can't be falling on hard times.
All of his movies are pretty solid.
Yeah.
Radio's still one of my absolute favorite football movies.
Yeah.
It's really good. I love that movie. That's one of those movies you watch to hype yourself up, or at least I did. It's just like a feel good, but also I got to get some stuff done tomorrow. Watch this movie. At least I don't have one leg and I'm trying to be a Navy diver.
Yeah, exactly.
It could always be worse.
I bet he wasn't worried about Daddy getting him a 2-pound milk.
I definitely was not worried about that. Great movie. All right, you want to do your honorable mentions now, or do you want me to?
No, do your number 5, and then I'll hit mine.
Number 5, again, not just because of the cast, but the cast makes it.
Okay.
Apocalypse Now.
You know, I've never actually watched the entirety of that film.
Come on, bro.
I've never watched the
my
entirety of
gosh.
that film.
Bro, it is brilliant.
I've heard everything about the movie. So just by association, I've seen the movie.
Right.
But it is on my list of I still need to go back and actually watch the whole thing.
Yes, you do. So at the end, of course, I don't know. It's been out, 40 years? I'm not going to give away any spoilers if you haven't watched it by now. You need to go, quit listening to this for just a minute. But
spoiler alert. Here, we'll just put it in there.
So at the end, you got the guy from The Godfather, Marlon Brando.
Yeah.
He promised to make the movie to Ford, which is the director, Francis Ford Coppola.
Yep.
And by the time Marlon Brando got on set, he was so fat that Coppola was like, I'm not putting him in this film.
You can't be in this.
So he made him sit down in every scene and had stuff around him so you couldn't see
how big he was.
How big he was.
That's hilarious.
But a great cast, great movie. And
what do you mean I'm so big?
and then
I told you I was going to make this movie for you.
it's pretty good. And then it's loosely based on Heart of Darkness, on the book The Heart of Darkness, which was a book about going into Africa. And I can't remember what river they were on. But anyway, it's loosely based on that novel.
I
So there's
think
some
you're thinking
correlations
of Ghost in the Darkness, which also was in Africa.
I am not. I'm not. But that would have been a good honorable mention because that is also a historiological event.
It's a astrological event.
All right, you got 2 honorable mentions?
I got 2. I'm going to hit you with the first one is Goodfellas. Because that is loosely based on, I forget his name, but the mobster.
Right.
And just a great movie. That's another one. Another good cast.
Yep. Pesci kills it.
Yeah.
Kills it. in that
Ray
film.
Liotta. I know you hate
I don't
Ray Liotta.
hate him, but it just, I don't know, something about him. You know those modern day smoking commercials that he comes out in? And he talks about giving up smoking. He's like, bro, you look like crap. What's wrong with
Go
you?
back to smoking. Just finish out your last couple years.
That's funny.
What's your other honorable?
Hotel Rwanda. Don
That's
Cheadle.
Don Cheadle.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm
And it's-
trying to remember.
Woo.
I think I've seen that one.
Bro, it is a rough but a great movie.
I think I've seen that
Oof,
one.
it's really good.
Okay.
Really good. And the fact that a lot of people just accept what's going on over there, because that stuff's still going on now.
Oh, yeah.
And we're just like, whatever. And then, Russia goes in and kills 5 people in Ukraine and the whole world flips out.
Sure.
Like, well, what about those
I mean,
guys
they've
over
been
there?
doing that for millennia.
Millions
still
of people
doing
have died over there. Yeah, it's a great film.
Okay. My final honorable mention, and I was hesitant to put it on there because I'm not 100% sure how factual it was.
Okay, that's fair.
But Enemy at the Gates.
Yeah. I'm with you on the factual side, but
Because I know they made the name Vasily Zaitsev. I know he was
they made that up,
fictitious.
right?
I'm pretty sure he was. But I do remember there being a pretty badass sniper that was just kicking ass and taking names or breaking skulls and with bullets and such.
He was doing something over there.
Not as good as Sima Hayaha.
What?
Oh, Sima Hayaha, but they don't have a movie about him yet.
I thought you were going to say Selma Hayek. I was like, oh, what? Selma Hayek's a
Selma
sniper?
Hayek.
Shoot.
Oh, dang. No, the white ghost. The I'm trying to remember where it was now.
Yeah.
Not Sweden.
I think it was Sweden.
May have been
I think it was.
Swedish or Norway, something like that.
One of them hoingy boingy countries up there.
Hey, we got listeners up there.
Oh, yeah.
You can't upset them too much.
As a matter of fact, our most listened country outside of America is Norway.
It's Norway. Yeah.
So, howdy out there. No disrespect given.
Thank you for listening.
All right, man. Let's do some thank you blinders.
Cool. Thank you, blindness. Nailed it.
I love this lighter, but it's a little finicky. It's got a sweet spot that you really got to nail, and if you don't, you'll just click it over and over, and it won't light.
Yep.
All right, so questions that we had before, we kind of banter about before the episode, and Thank You Blinders is just that. It's blind to each one of us, so I'll let old Beezy go first, and we'll get out of here.
Okay, so my thinky is a would you rather. So, Pinewood, would you rather get a paper cut every time you turn a page or bite your tongue every time you eat?
Dang, every time?
So, I mean, we'll say for every time, it's you sit down for the meal, it's per meal. You're not every bite. It's not biting your
But
tongue.
once per meal,
you're
biting the crap out of your tongue. Gosh. I hate that. I hate that more than anything.
I do that more than I'd like to admit.
My tongue isn't the problem. It's the side of my cheek.
Yeah,
Bite the side of my cheek. And then once you bite it once, it swells, and then you bite it 4 or 5 times over the next couple of days.
Yep.
Okay. I'm going to go with bite my tongue every time I eat. Or, excuse me, the paper cut.
Okay.
Because I like to eat.
Yeah.
And if there's pain associated with that, I don't weigh much anyway. I'm going to wither away. And I can always read books on my Kindle. So I alleviate the page turning.
Okay. Fair enough. I'm going to get you on this one.
Okay.
Okay. Because you're still technically turning a page.
That is true.
So now your Kindle has a crack in it.
Oh.
And now you're getting a glass cut.
A glass cut every time?
A glass cut on your finger every time you turn that page.
I think worst case scenario, I just never read again.
Welcome to the team.
It's going to be really hard to fall asleep at night because that's kind of the nightly routine. But if I got a paper cut every time I turned a page, I wouldn't be able to fall asleep anyway. So I'm just going to go no more reading. Just dumb from here on out.
I mean, I'm not too dumb and I don't read.
Well, you still intake information.
Yeah.
So, I think there's some that's a good workaround. And I don't have to bite my tongue every time I eat because that'd be awful.
I'm still going to continue doing that.
Yeah.
That's still going to be an issue in life.
Right. But
I'll just take the no reading.
So before I started this elimination thing, we could talk about that another time.
Mm-hmm.
I was sitting in the car and I was starving Marvin. And so I went to the drive-thru and I got me a burger and fries or whatever. And I remember I was back at the church. I had parked and I was like, I'm just going to eat here and then I'll go inside. And so I'm eating.
And you shot a deer.
I did not shoot a deer. There are deer at the church, by the way. I bit my finger trying to eat a fry.
I was hungry.
I was hungry, and it got in there too far, and I bit my finger, and I bit it hard.
Should have better known better.
And you fat am I? I'm shoveling stuff in my mouth so fast that I bit my finger.
That's awesome.
It was hard to believe in the moment. Like you kind of looked there, like, is there anybody watching me?
I really hope nobody saw that.
I'm being punked. What's going on?
Oh, good stuff. Good
All right.
stuff, man.
Your thinky blinder might require you to think just a little bit, which, that's the question. So think about it for a moment.
That's handy because that's what the segment's about.
What do you think is the weirdest thing that you've seen in someone else's home? The strangest thing that you've seen in someone else's home?
Huh. Well, I'm not usually invited into too many homes, so this is awkward.
That's fair. That's fair. You are allowed to use the couch once a month in my home.
Fair enough.
So, congratulations.
Now, and this was family. This was Nana's house.
Okay.
And I don't know if it was just because of their generation, but she had a white room.
Okay.
Like everything in there. And I mean, everything was white.
Weird.
White carpet, white walls, white trim,
Really?
white couch, white piano.
What?
Yeah, and we were not allowed
Of course
in
not.
that room.
Because you would
And I
make it
understand-
non-white.
Yeah, it would definitely not be white if we were in there.
Right.
But, and I was talking to my stepmom about it. I was like, so what is going on with that? And she, that was the big thing. Apparently they used to have dedicated, and when they would host parties, everybody would congregate into the white room.
Weird.
And it was just the pristine location in the house.
Weird.
And they could tell that it was pristine because, I mean, you would know if anything was smudged up in the white room.
Huh.
So I don't
That's
know.
interesting.
It's weird.
That is
It's
weird.
weird.
Okay. So my weirdest thing is a grandma.
Uh-huh.
Wasn't my grandmother. So it was a friend of mine in high school. His grandmother had a chair in her living room. And it was this 3-legged, funky-looking chair, and it had a back seat, or the back part of it.
Uh-huh.
It was skinny, where it almost looked like a weight bench where you could like do some stuff around it, right? And then the bottom
We
of
can
it,
tell you don't go to the weight room.
don't go to the weight room very
So
often.
you can do some stuff. Do the pump curls and do some rowboats.
You can Arnolize it, whatever that is.
Yeah.
So the bottom had a flat seat, and then it had wings on the side of it. It was the strangest looking thing, and I asked, "What in the world is that about?" She said, "That's my birthing chair."
Oh no.
I said,
You're
"Do
not,
huh?"
you're not planning on using that anytime
What?
soon, are you?
That's my birthing chair. I birthed all my children in that chair. What in the French toast are you talking about? A birthing chair? A birthing chair.
What in the world?
And not only was it a birthing chair like an antique, it was her birthing chair. Like she had her kids in that chair. So she popped,
I don't know.
popped a squat on the chair and like just...
It might be creepier if she got somebody else's birthing chair.
That's fair.
And that was the centerpiece in her house. Oh, yeah, that was Stephanie's birthing chair. It's still
Who's
got
Stephanie?
stains on it and
Who's
everything.
Stephanie? Oh, gracious. So, yeah, birthing chair.
Oh, dude,
So
that's freaky deaky
white
Dutch.
rooms and birthing chair. That may be the title of the episode. That's pretty funny.
Oh, man.
Woo, sweet Lord. All right, so if you ever go see a weird looking chair in somebody's house, don't ask. just don't ask any
No questions. All
Let's do a little Pastor and the Heathen.
right.
The Pastor and the Heathen.
Thank you, Maestro.
You're very welcome.
Are you bringing the question to the forefront today?
I will.
All right.
What are your thoughts on the Ouija board? And can Christians partake in the game?
Okay, that's a great question. Very, very good question.
Yeah.
Are you going to start with anything?
I'll give you some brief histological
Yes, it's wearing off.
some histological events for the Ouija board. I love
You
this
gonna
word.
look at it under a microscope?
Like skin cells. I just happened to find some other good stuffs in it.
That's brilliant.
So, businessman Elijah Bond had the idea to patent a planchette solid with a board on which the alphabet was printed, much like the previously existing talking boards.
Okay.
Bond filed on the 28th of May in 1890 for the patent production of this and
Okay.
is credited with the invention of the Ouija board. The patent was actually issued on February 10th, 1980 or 1890.
Oh, wow.
One of the first mentions of automatic writing method, which is kind of what we were talking about.
Okay.
But I would assume the Freddy got fingered or whatever. Idle hands took over.
What?
Idle hands took over. The earliest or the first mention of automatic writing method used in the Ouija board is found in China. China.
Nice.
Around 1100 AD.
Really?
In historical documents of the Song Dynasty. The method is known as Fuji.
Okay.
Basically planchette writing. The use of planchette writing is ostensible, meaning of necromancy. And I can't remember that word, so we'll skip it.
Okay.
But necromancy is cool as shit. And then
Is it?
a communion with the spirit world. So I'll be under special rituals and supervisions. That was a practice for the Quanzhen school until it was forbidden by the Qing dynasty. Qing. King?
I would
Queen?
assume. I don't know. Whatever.
Yeah, anyways.
Okay. So it's got
It's been around for
been
a bit.
around a long time.
A long bit.
Okay. So the question is, can Christians use it?
Yes. Can they use it? Should it be frowned upon?
Okay.
I mean, you take it to its root. It's a game.
Right?
I'm pretty sure Parker Brothers makes it now.
Right. It's pretty goyish, right?
It's sitting right next to Mousetrap.
Okay. Well, let me go give the typical pastoral response.
Okay.
So there are some mentions in Scripture. Now, so let's take a Ouija board at its base. So you would use it, if you believe it's true, you would use it to communicate with the dead or somebody who's passed over, right? So a ghost
Spirits.
or spirit or whatever.
Demons.
Yes, absolutely. Or a seance, right?
Right.
Okay, and this came out, you said, late 1800s. So this is about the time that spiritualism is really in its heightened state.
Sure.
Okay, so obviously the Bible doesn't specifically say anything about
No
the
Ouija boards.
board. It definitely doesn't do that. There are some verses in the Old Testament that talk about divination and not using mediums to talk to spirits. There are some Old Testament references to that, like Leviticus and Deuteronomy. And then there's one verse in the New Testament that says not to involve yourself in witchcraft, but nothing in the New Testament that says anything about talking to spirits or blah, blah, blah. And you could argue that Jesus talks to spirits on several occasions in the New Testament, but I'll leave that for another time. I would say, this is just me personally, I'm not going to do it because I don't want to even come close to messing with any of that stuff.
I don't need that juju.
I don't. If there's a 0.5% chance that I'm going to get some weird freaky deaky spirit coming over into my house, I don't want to take that chance.
Yeah.
However, I did read about a study that was done, and when the planchette moves, so they had, I think they did 500 test subjects.
Okay.
So the planchette, they would ask questions, blah, 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 they'd move it around, and then they blindfolded everybody, and the spirit could not make a single word in all of those cases, all of those test subjects. So you're moving it.
Of course you are.
So I would say, number one, it's not real, and if you want to play with it, go right ahead.
Freak some folk out.
Have fun. Good luck, whatever. But stepping away from that, Bible says the devil's like a lion prowling for people to devour. I'm not going to invite that into my home. Like if there's even a chance that anything like that's going to happen, I'm not going to do it. Not going to do it. So
Could be fun.
Can you do it? Sure. Have a good time, knock yourself out, that mousetrap, Monopoly, whatever you want to do, that's fine. But also know that I believe there are things out there on the other realm, and I don't want to test them at all.
I don't want to go invite folk over.
Nope, not going to get into that. So yes, I believe that you can. I don't believe that we need to freak out about it. We don't need to stop watching all the Harry Potter movies. When I was in high school, actually
Harry
middle
Potter's
school.
of the devil.
Well, Yeah, I heard that a lot. There was a game we used to play called Heroes of the Might and Magic. And there was one character on there called a necromancer, and he had a special ability.
Yeah, you can summon skeletons.
Something like that.
Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about.
But because he was called a necromancer, my dad was like, nope, can't have that in the house. That's witchcraft, blah, blah, blah. No Harry Potter in the house. That's witchcraft. And I found it interesting that we could watch Lord of the Rings. That was okay. But Harry Potter can't have that particular brand of witchcraft.
He was looking out for you because, I mean, Harry Potter's not that great.
Well, I mean, yes, but I find it interesting that some things are acceptable, witches, warlocks, blah, 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 and some are not.
Witches, warlocks. Just don't be no necromancer.
I thought you were going to call me a wizard.
You're not a wizard, Harry.
All right, man, that's a good question. I would love to hear y'all's opinions out there. And also, I would like to hear your horror stories when you were growing up, what you were allowed to watch and not allowed to watch based on...
Hopefully you didn't have to watch any of it in a birthing chair.
Now, that is true hell on earth, having to watch Harry Potter in a birthing chair.
In a birthing chair. Oh, man.
All right, man. Well, let's do a little update so we can get the heck out of here.
Cool. We got some news updates for you today.
I kind of went over the updates at the beginning, but a couple of things just to remember. Eccentric Brewery and Cocoa Cocktails. You can find all of their information in the podcast description or in the description on YouTube. Go check those guys out. And if you're in the Midland, Odessa area, you need to go down there and see them. They got live bands all the time. I think they're open, they said, Wednesday, Friday, and Saturday. Is that right?
Something like that.
And the beers are pretty cheap, $7 a beer. And I know it sounds like a lot, but go out and try to order a craft beer somewhere else.
Yeah,
good luck. It's not bad. Patreon, if you would like to support the show, go over to Patreon and support us there. 2 tiers, and you get a second podcast every month. Number 10 just dropped, so we're excited about that. You can go listen to that. I would ask you, please, to leave us a review somewhere, whether Apple Podcast or on the website somewhere, and that helps us, helps our numbers. We are growing quite nicely right now.
We are.
And if we could have a couple of reviews, we'd really appreciate that. That would be time well spent. And we'll give you a good shout out next time. If you leave us a review, give you a shout out.
Yep.
And then subscribe to the YouTube channel. We'll wave at the folks out there. We do finally have some YouTube up, and the cameras are coming. The switcher's coming. We've got new exciting things on the docket. It's just going to get better and better, guys.
What do? You just get better.
Now, I'm going to have to get a voice coach, so I'll quit stumbling over my words at the beginning of every episode. But
I'll coach you.
You'll coach me?
I got you.
I appreciate that.
I won't even charge you much.
So thank you guys so much for listening. Thank you to the OGs that have been with us from the very beginning. Also, thank you to all the new listeners for checking us out. We really appreciate it. And last but not least, thank you to our wives for supporting us in this endeavor. It takes time and money, and we appreciate it.
Yes, very much so.
And don't forget to vote Pinewood and Beezy.
Pinewood and Beezy
2023. You ready?
You gonna hit us up with some voicemail? We actually got a voicemail and an email.
Oh, we got 2.
We did.
Sure did. Okay, I'll tell you what. So if you leave us a voicemail, and it's how should we put this? It's kind. We'll play it. We'll play it on the show.
No, just play all of them.
We might play the bad ones too, but
could be fun.
This one comes in from old Pirate Hunter Sean.
Yes.
And a longtime listener, I think from the very beginning.
He's one of the OGs.
Really is. We appreciate all that he has done. So let's hear what he's got for us.
Is having the game board and show up and ask.
Sorry, hang on. Let me get from the beginning of the voicemail. It'll make a lot more sense if we hear it from the beginning.
It usually helps.
All right, Sean, what you got?
Pirate Hunter Sean here. Closest thing I've ever seen to prostitution while ice fishing is having the game board and show up and ask you for your license. Yeah, that's about the closest thing. I ain't never have no hoes come up to my ice shanty.
I never had no host come up to my ice shanty. And if you have no idea what this is referring to, I think it was 60?
Episode 60. We talked about a local magistrate worrying about if we allow ice fishing shanties, we're going to have prostitution in those shanties. So we appreciate you checking us out. Appreciate you sending us a voicemail. And that was probably one of my favorite moments in all of our podcasts.
Yeah.
That is fantastic.
Yeah, that was great.
Pretty, really good. All right, and then what else we got? We got a review from Heston.
Heston reviewed and sent us an email.
He did send us an email. So his review, I'll just go ahead and read it. Said, one of my favorite pods. Check these guys out. They crack me up every single episode. Love it. Wouldn't change a thing. 5 out of 5 stars. So in a world of Karen and Todd Toms,
Be a Heston.
please be a Heston. We appreciate you. Heston writes in episode 29 or 30, Beezy is challenged with the word, you remember?
I don't even remember.
Pekin.
I still don't think that's how it's said.
It may not be. I don't
Peckin'.
know. Pekin?
Like pecan.
It's pecan, but it means
It's
something
pecan.
completely different than pecans. Pekin. Pinewood briefly mentions chilies versus peppers. He says, did y'all know that there is a chili native to Texas known as the chili Pekin? And I'd love to listen to the pod where y'all try one while recording. I'm sure one of your South Texas listeners could provide some wild and native samples for the show. Stay plumpable, my friends.
Woo! Freaking love it, Heston.
I love it too. So I'm just going to say on the outset, I'm not doing that. I don't know how hot it is, but I'm not going to do it. I'm not even going to risk it.
I tell you what, if somebody sends us some pecan peppers,
It's South Texas Pekin peppers.
whatever, just send some pecans my way, and I will do one episode. And now we've got videos,
Yep.
so there will be proof.
Yep.
And I will do the whole episode. I'll munch on it.
The whole time.
Not the whole time. Hell no.
Just suck on it the whole time.
I mean, I have a moderate heat tolerance.
Okay. Gotcha.
But like just raw peppers, I can't do raw pepper. Just the flavors and just,
That's interesting. Okay. So I tell you what, I'll try it with you.
Okay.
But I'm not going to eat more than, I'm just going to try it.
I'm gonna take a.
You're going to do the full Monty.
I'm gonna
huh?
just go home.
One of the things you
Go
could.
big.
You're not going to go home. You're going to go big.
I'm just gonna go big.
All right. Well, send us a pepper if you got one. We'd
Yeah.
appreciate it. And then don't send us a Carolina Reaper or something that's not a Pekin and try
Hey,
to pass it off.
I'm gonna research these peppers.
We're going to know what it looks like.
Yeah.
If you send us the ghost pepper or some nonsense like that, it ain't going to fly, Nancy. I'm just going to tell you that right now. We'll oust you from the club. You can also go to the website, again, fwtgpodcast.com, and immediately when you get there, they'll have a pop-up and you can sign up for our email list, and that just keeps all the updated episodes in your email, and you get updates and blah, blah, blah. So if you want to do that, you can keep up with us there. We'd really appreciate it. How about we do a little ponder this, and then we'll get on out of here.
Q. Ponder this. How long does someone have to be dead before it's considered archaeology instead of grave robbing?
That's a good question.
Well, ponder on it.
And I think from the legal sense, it's an important question.
Oh, well, Pod Disciples, that is going to finish off episode 65 of Fraternize with these guys. I am Beezy the Heathen.
I am Pastor Pinewood.
Stay plumpable, friends. And remember, according to histological evidence, if you're going to poach animals, don't go for trophies.
We'll catch you next episode.
All right. So I've got a question. Kind of playing off of the ponder.
Okay.
What if you used a Ouija board to contact the person that was buried before you were going to dig them up and asked them, hey, can we have permissions? And then you just kind of drifted over to yes. Hey, we're good. It's not grave robbing anymore.
I think grave robbers are missing out on a great opportunity.
Let the course see it's going to yes.
Also, you could ask the spirit, where'd you bury all your gold? Like, they'd have to tell you, right? There's some sort of like honesty factor there.
I don't know that there is. though.
Really?
I don't
I
think
feel
so.
like if I summon you, you need to be honest with me. Like, I did the work to get you here.
I mean, you are now mine.
I mean, Satan's known for being a truthful dude. So surely the demons
There's two
would be.
things I know about Satan. He is got a pitchfork,
Right.
and he is super truthful.
The arbiter of truth.
Arbiter of sorrow.